Welcome. In this lesson, we're basically going to use two congruent triangles, and they're congruent by the postulate, what's called hypotenuse leg, or HL. That's why they call it hypotenuse leg, and that's because it has a right angle in it, and this has a right angle, and they also actually state that they're congruent. But that means that the short side is going to be equal to the short side. Now, I want to emphasize, though, that IJ is the second two letters of these three letters. It's triangle HIJ, and EC is the second two letters. That's how another reason I know IJ is congruent to EC, because they're in the same position as far as letters. That easily lets us find the value of B. If they're the same length, well, B must also be 14. I type in 14 for B. Likewise, when I go to find the value of A, I notice ED, and again, just to be safe, up here, this ED or DE is the first two letters, IH is the first two letters, IH is this side here, so A corresponds to 45. Those triangles are congruent, so A is 45. And they always kind of draw these to scale, so you won't have to look up here at this letters too much. Just remember the short side is congruent to the short side. The longest side, the hypotenuse, is congruent to the hypotenuse, and then if they use this other side, the longer leg, I call it, they're going to be congruent. Now, the problems will get harder because what they're going to do is they're going to give them to you as equations. So I'm going to jump ahead and show you one. So like this one here, we don't have a single 40 equaling S. It's S plus 31 equals 40. So I'm going to write that equation down. So here, I've taken this S plus 31, which is right here, and I set it equal to 40, and then I solve for S, so this is S equals 9. So I found my S value, and I can type that in. S is 9. Then I also took the GF side, again, FG or GF, which is T plus 9, which is right here, and I set it equal to VW, or WV, equal to 18. And again, minus the 9 over, I find the value of T. T is 9. So I have these simple two-step or one-step equations to solve in order to find the missing variable. Like this one here, this one's a little more difficult. Now this, by the way, is V plus 22. They've just kind of wrapped that equation around, which I don't like, but V plus 22, which is the EG side, corresponds to UT, which is 3V. V plus 22, that's this, is equal to 3V. Then the red side here, from F to G corresponds to ST, S to T, which is this one. Now, you'll notice if I set this equal to this, there's two variables in there. I can't solve the red equation until I've solved the blue equation, because the blue gives me the value of V. So V is used in both the short side and the longer side, but W is not. So one equation we can solve quickly. I'm just going to minus the V this way. That's going to give me 2V equals 22, divide by 2, and I find out that V is equal to 11. Now that I know that V is 11, I can substitute that value in for the V in the other equation to solve for W, which I'm going to do right now. So I've stuck the 11 in for V, given these expressions. I put the 11 in blue. Then I simplified. 11 plus 24 is 35. 9 times 11 is 99. Minus the 24 is 75. Minus the W to the left, that's 2W. Minus the 35 to the right, that's 40. Divide by 2, and I find out W is 20. So again, I found my V value was 11, and my W value was 20. But just realize I had to solve the simpler equation first, so I had the value of V to solve the more complex equation. But again, not too difficult. Now, the hardest ones you're going to get are going to have to use to solve systems of equations. So yes, like this one here. And what I mean by systems is I'm going to set the two sides equal to each other, and you'll see what I mean. So what I've done is I've taken the side UV that's equal to the side HF, and I set them equal. And then I simplified it, and I came down to this expression right here when I minused this y over, 9y minus the y is 8y, minus the 3x over, that's plus 2x. I brought the 46 to the right side, or added 46 to both sides, that's 62. So I have this 8y plus 2x equals 62 for the two blue sides. Then I did the same thing with the red sides. I set this VT side, which is 8y plus x equals 44, equal to the FG side, which is 9x plus 6y. Again, I simplified. I minus the 6y over, right? 8y minus the 6y is 2y. I minus the 9x over. That gives me a negative 8x, or 1x minus 9x. And then I minus the 44 to the right to get this equation. Now, we have learned how to solve systems of equations. Those are a system of equations. You can use either the process of substitution or elimination, or if you really want to take the time, you could graph them. But you're going to do that process, which I'm not going to do at this point because I have taught that. If you need to go back and review that, let me know. But do the process of substitution or elimination. Again, you won't get these hard problems until you're way up to 96. If you have any questions, please do bring them to class.